So I've got a few practice examples here. At any time, as we're working along the examples, I think it would be wise to pause the video, try something yourself, and then come back and watch the way I work. I would not skip any examples in this unit because every problem is just a little bit different. And in fact, the seated kids will say, I don't do enough examples, but if I keep doing examples, I get bored. But every single one is a little bit different. All right. Let's start the first one here. I want to try to simplify 9 to the 3/2 power. Yes, you can type that in your calculator, but eventually you'll start getting decimals, and we're going to be looking for exact solutions. So you don't want to start off by typing all these into the calculator. All right, this becomes the index number. So this problem, because there's a 2 in the denominator, tells me that I'm going to have a square root of 9. But then I'm going to take that answer to the 3rd power. And then I'm going to work in the parenthesis here. What is the square root of 9? 3. And then I'm going to take that to the 3rd power, so I get 27. Let's do the next one. This 2 in the denominator means this is going to be a square root to the 5th power. The square root of 16 is 4. And 4 to the 5th power, I believe we just found that one. 4 to the 5th power is 1024. Look at the next one. It's a negative exponent. So that doesn't make my answer negative. What it does is makes my answer a fraction. So I'm going to have 1 over the cube root of 32 squared. So, let's see here. I wrote that down wrong. This is supposed to be a 5. So I'm going to find the 5th root of 32 to the 5th root of 32 and square it. So I have to think what number times itself 5 times gives me 32. And that number is 2. If you have a graphing calculator, let me show you what you push to find that. If you push the math button, which is right below the green key, it brings up a screen that looks like this. Option number 5 will let you enter a different number, a different number in here besides a square root. Now, this one's going to make me type the 5 first, and then math 5. Now it puts a 5th root here of 32, and then I hit equals. Some of your calculators, when you just push math 5, will have a little box where that X is, and you get to type whatever number you want. This one actually asks for the number first, so you had to type in the 5 first before, so it would put it in that spot. So we know that the 5th root of 32 is 2, and 1 over 2 squared is 4th. So 32 to the negative 2/5 power is 1/4. I think I've probably got a mistake here too. Let's change this problem. 64 to the negative 2/5 power. So that negative exponent doesn't mean I'm going to have a negative answer. It means my answer is going to be a fraction. So I have 1 over 64 to the 2/5, which is 1 over the 5th root of 64 squared. And then when I type in 5th root of 64 in my calculator, this time I get a decimal, so that means I'm going to have to rethink this. So this one must have actually been a 3, because I haven't gotten to the point yet where we can simplify. So let's go ahead and make that a 3 and do the cube root of 64. So 3 math 5, 64 is 4, and that's one you'll have memorized, and 4 squared is 16. When I had a 5 here, I got a decimal, and in the next lesson I'm going to show you how to fix that, but I don't want to go there yet. Let's do one other example here on simplifying. What happens if a radicand is not simplified? So what happens if you have like the cube root of 54? When you type that in the calculator, you get a decimal. Because there isn't a number that you can take times itself 3 times to get 54. So on this one, I start doing a factor tree. And I start thinking about numbers that would work here, like 2 and 27. 2 is a prime number, so I keep it. 27 is 9 times 3, and 9 is 3 times 3. So I get 3 3s. So this is the cube root of 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So because it's a cube root, that means I'm looking for things in groups of 3. So since I have a group of 3 3s, that crosses off and puts a big 3 out to the front. So my answer would look like this: 3 cube root 2. Notice this is the coefficient and this is the index number, so it's smaller than this 3 right here.